Later, I saw a video on Facebook. My sister Sep 6'8", the neighbors Sep teenagers, everyone sitting around my parents Sep's dinner table. My kids saw it too, and cried. That Sep's when I took a photo of every unwrapped gift and texted, "Returning these today." My mom said, "It's Set's too hectic this year. Let Set's skip you coming." I said okay. 40 minutes later, my dad showed up at my door, yelling. I opened it. And you know, it's one thing not to be invited. It's another to find out everyone else was. Not just my sister, not just her ex. The one who used to make my mom cry. Even the neighbors. The same girl who once hit my dad's car with a basketball and wasn't allowed near our driveway for years. Everyone was there, except me and my kids. That's Sep's what hurt most. Mom had called it too chaotic this year. She said we'd skip it, like she was rearranging a dentist appointment. My kids had already made her cards. My daughter crafted a paper crown with Queen Grandma written in glitter. My son picked out slippers with built-in foot massagers. They were so excited. They always are. They've never forgiven me for being a single mom. Even though I didn't leave him, he left me. He lives out of state now, but calls the kids every night, pays their insurance, sends gifts, asks about their day. We barely talk, but he's consistent. Yet somehow to my mom, I'm the failure. I thought this year would be different. I'd been planning her birthday gift since March. A set of gold jewelry, necklace, bracelet, earrings. $7,800 total. I skipped coffee shops, clothes, dinners out. I clipped coupons, wore boots with a hole in the sole through April. But I never touched the kids' savings. They always came first. They adore my parents far more than my parents show in return. Tolerate is the best word for how my parents treat them. Polite smiles, brief visits, never overnight. The table was dressed with her gold-rimmed plates, the ones she uses to impress guests. My flower arrangement sat unopened at the far end. I just thought, if I gave her something truly special, maybe I'd finally be seen again. The day before her birthday, I didn't hear from her. That night, my cousin sent me a video. It was already on Facebook. Mom sat at the head of the table, blowing out candles on her lemon cake. My sister was beside her, her ex next to her, their baby in a high chair. Even the teenage neighbors and one of Mom's old co-workers from years ago were there. Everyone but us. I didn't set cry. I didn't set call her. 40 minutes later, my dad was pounding on my door. "Are you out of your mind?" he yelled as I opened it. He stormed in, stared at the gifts like I'd desecrated something sacred. He didn't ask about the kids, didn't apologize, didn't even ask how I found out. He just said, "You don't embarrass the family like this." After the kids went to sleep, I unwrapped every gift we set prepared for Mom, Dad, my sister Sep's baby. I laid them out, took a photo, and sent it to the family chat. "Returning these today." His face didn't change. "We needed things quiet this year. With your sister visiting," he said flatly. Then walked out. No explanation, no remorse. I said, "You invited everyone and left us out." The next morning, I drove to the jeweler and returned the gold set. Didn't ask for a full refund, told them to restock it. After returning the jewelry, I thought it was over. Maybe they'd freeze me out again, pretend I overreacted, and move on like nothing happened. But that's not what happened. Something in me turned off that night, and it's not coming back. It began with silence. No calls, no texts, not even from my sister. Then 2 days later, Mom posted a photo on Facebook. She and my sister were on the porch, arms around each other, holding coffee mugs, captioned, "So grateful to have my baby home for a while." A while. That caught my attention. I didn't think much of it until Aunt Leah called. She never calls unless someone's drunk or dying. She asked if I knew my sister had been staying at my parents' house for over a month. Said she'd seen her at a grocery store a few towns away, using WIC vouchers. My sister supposedly lived across the country, working some high-profile job in marketing or real estate or consulting. The story changed every time my parents bragged about her. But in that photo, she wore the same hoodie from the birthday video. No makeup, tired. I stayed quiet. A week later, it was confirmed. Mom let it slip to Laya during a call, who of course told me right after. Turns out my sister had lost her job 6 months ago, racked up debt, keeping up appearances, sold her furniture before flying home with 2 suitcases, and a story that didn't match reality. My parents didn't tell anyone. They wanted it to look like she was just visiting, still the golden child, still successful. They were covering her car insurance, her phone bill, pretending it was temporary. Meanwhile, I still hadn't heard from them. No apology, no explanation. Then that weekend, Dad texted, "Can we talk?" I didn't set reply. 3 hours later, another message, from Mom this time. "Your sister Sip's going through something. Sip's been very hard on all of us. We need to talk." 3 days later, my sister texted, said she wanted to clear the air. I asked why now. She said, "They think you might be willing to help." I ignored it. Not a word about what they did to my kids. Nothing about the dinner or the yelling. Just a request. I didn't believe her. Maybe she hadn't known at first. But she definitely did. Once the food was served, and my kids weren't there. She knew when my chair sat empty. I waited 2 days before replying. She sent another text, then a voice note I didn't set open, then another message, "I didn't set no, they weren't set inviting you." I swear. No apology, just desperation. Still, I asked, "What is it that they want?" She replied, "I think they want you to help me financially." Just like that. No sugarcoating. No pretending this was about family. I didn't respond to her. Instead, I texted Mom and said we could talk in person. She replied immediately, "Oh, thank God. Your dad and I were hoping we could move past this." They wanted money from the daughter they'd told to stay away, from the daughter whose kids weren't good enough for the table. We agreed they'd come over that weekend. I said I'd cook. We ate lunch, small talk, polite smiles. Then Mom sighed and said, "You know your sister Set's been having a tough time. It's Set's not her fault. The company downsized. We were hoping you could help her get back on her feet." When they arrived, Mom brought a pie. Dad brought his usual self-righteousness. They acted like nothing had happened. Said hello to the kids. My daughter clung to me. My son didn't look up from his tablet. I smiled. "Helping her find a job is immediate." I nodded, pretending to consider it. "Sure," I said. "I'll help her find a job." Mom blinked. "Well, yes, but we meant something more immediate, like rent, groceries, or maybe to fix her car." I said, "Then she can match whatever Sep's left of it." Dad Sep's voice cut in, clipped. Sep's not used to that kind of work. She needs something that matches her background." Silence. Mom Sep's eyes wandered around the room, noticed the new couch, the renovated kitchen, all paid for by my hard work. Then she said, "If you still going to be like this, we still just get by without your help." "Okay," I said. They left without another word. I stood up, took her pie, and gently set it in the trash. That night, I emailed a friend who works in staffing, told her I had a candidate with a degree and some employment gaps, asked if she had anything. Admin, retail, customer service, anything. 2 weeks later, my sister started the job. Entry level, no remote option. I didn't tell my parents, I arranged it. They thought it was luck. Until Mom called one day and said, "You really aren't going to help us, are you?" I asked, "You mean financially?" She said, "Anything." I said no. 2 days later, a letter came in the mail. They said they were disowning me, that I was cruel, that I'd abandoned family when they needed me most. That's Seps, when I remembered the Lexus. Dad cried when I gave him the keys. Mom told everyone I'd finally done something right. They never made a single payment. A year and a half ago, when Dad's truck died, he'd called in a panic, said he needed help, short term. My husband and I weren't officially divorced then, and he was generous that month, so I co-signed a loan to buy Dad a reliable car, a used Lexus, low mileage, one owner. I didn't tell them right away. I waited until Mom posted a photo of my sister posing next to the Lexus in the driveway, like she was off to brunch. Now, after everything, they were still driving it like it was theirs. Like I wouldn't remember. So when the disowning letter came, I didn't cry. I laughed. Then I called the loan company. Turns out the car was still fully in my name, title never transferred. I took a screenshot and sent it to my lawyer. 2 weeks later, my parents were served a repossession notice, right in front of the neighbors. That part wasn't planned, but I can't deny it was satisfying. Mom called, screaming, "How could you do this to us?" I said, "You disowned me. The car goes with me." Then I hung up. A week after the car was picked up, my sister showed up at my door. Not angry, not crying, just holding a suitcase. She said quietly, "I quit the job." I stared at her, waiting for more. Then she looked me straight in the eye and said, "I want to stay here with you. I want to start over." I asked, "What are you doing here?" She said, "I can sleep on the floor." Then she told me something I didn't expect. She was pregnant. Not by her ex, not by anyone she wanted to name. I laughed. Told her I had 2 kids and no spare room. And I believed her. My parents didn't set no. My dad definitely didn't set. She said, "They still throw me out. I know it." For the first time in years, I saw her not as the golden child, but as someone scared and lost. It complicated everything. The kids were confused. My daughter whispered, "Why is Auntie sleeping in the living room?" That night, she slept on the couch. No promises, no explanations. I gave her a blanket, a pillow, a towel. She didn't ask for more. I told her, she just needs a place to rest. Then the performance began. My parents' version of the story. By the 3rd night, my sister was helping with homework, cleaning dishes, just quietly trying to be useful. She didn't talk much, only small things about cravings, back pain, or regrets. I didn't ask about the baby's father again. I didn't care. They started posting old photos of my sister from better days, followed by long self-pitying captions about grieving a daughter who turned away and praying for healing in a broken family. They wrote as if they were the victims of some tragedy. Mom even listed the Lexus among the things they said lost. They called relatives, friends, even church members, twisting the story, saying I had changed, that bitterness had poisoned me. When my aunt called, asking why I'd stolen their car, I simply sent her the title paperwork. Silence followed. But then, one afternoon, the doorbell rang. It was my mom. She looked past me and said, "I come here to see my daughter, the real one." So I didn't set. My sister froze in the kitchen, cereal bowl in hand, whispering, "Don set let her in." Mom said, "You stir making a mistake. This is family." I said, "You disowned me. You don't get to walk that back now." She left without another word. The next day, my sister got a call from Dad. He was furious, accusing her of betrayal, of being ungrateful, said they'd forgive her if she fixed things with me. She hung up and said, "They stir not scared I left. They stir scared I told you everything." I nodded. Then she said softly, "I want to keep the baby, but I can do this alone." I didn't answer right away. Later that night she asked, "Do you hate me?" I said, "Not anymore, but I don't trust you yet." She nodded. "That seems fair." A family friend commented, "What happened to the Lexus?" The next morning, I saw a new post from Mom, standing by a used pickup truck at a dealership, captioned Sec AN, New Beginnings. Mom replied, "Ask Grace." Right underneath, I commented, "Sold it. Paid off the loan. Used the rest for my kids." So I did. No reply, but she saw it. I watched from the window, not angry, not proud, just still. The Lexus sold quickly. Clean title, low mileage. A man from 2 towns overpaid in full and drove it home, smiling. The money covered the loan, topped off the kids' SIP college fund, and a little extra went into an envelope I labeled "Whatever Comes Next." My sister kept living with us. She got a part-time job at a baby store, folding onesies, stocking shelves. It wasn't glamorous, but she showed up every day, never late, never complained. We didn't talk about the past, her ex or the baby's father. We just lived, quietly. The silence between us wasn't painful anymore. It was mutual. Then my parents started appearing in places they knew I'd be, the kids' soccer field, the grocery store. Never spoke, just made sure I saw them. Soon, the gifts started again. Cards addressed to my kids. "Love Grandma and Grandpa." No return address. A doll for my daughter. A science kit for my son. My son asked, "Can we visit them?" Then came the final letter. Typed, from my mom. I said, "We still see." She said she was sorry for how things turned out. Not sorry for what they did, just for how it ended. My sister read it, handed it back, and said, "They think I sep your ticket." Then she added that they wanted to meet, to clear the air and start over. Said they missed their family. I nodded, but I sep not going backward. So I wrote one last letter. No anger, no accusations, just truth. That night, my daughter climbed into my lap and asked, "Grandma forgot about us, didn't set she?" Then I blocked them, calls, texts, social media, everything. I'm glad you love your version of family. I'm building mine, but it won't include people who see my children as footnotes. You can explain that however you want. I won't explain myself anymore. She nodded, like she understood more than she should. We never saw the pickup truck again. Mom stopped posting pictures. Dad told people I'd ruined their life. But something shifted. People stopped believing them. I said no. She just didn't know how to treat you right. Relatives began reaching out quietly, saying they were sorry, that they didn't know the whole story. I didn't want their pity. I just wanted peace. And that's what I kept. No more doorbells. No more guilt. Just me, my kids, my sister, and a new kind of family. One built not on shame, but on choice. But last Wednesday, there was a knock at the door, around 9 p.m. It's been 2 weeks since I cut them off for good. I thought peace would be the end of it. All unsigned. It wasn't my parents. It was the wife of the man who bought the Lexus. She looked uneasy. Said she didn't want to intrude, but strange notes had started showing up on the car, at work, at the store, even at school pickup. Messages like, "You don't deserve that car. It was stolen. That was a gift." She asked if I knew anyone who might have a problem with the car being sold. She believed me. I said, "Yes, but I don't think it'll happen again." Classic projection. 2 days later, my sister got a call from an old friend. Turns out Mom's been telling people that I lured her away, that she's pregnant with some stranger's baby, and that I'm manipulating her for revenge. That might have hurt once, but not now. This morning she told me she's saving for a twin mattress so she can move into the laundry room and give the kids their space back. It's small, but it's real. Because the truth is, my sister's still here, still working, still pregnant, still sleeping on the couch. I don't know if my parents will ever stop rewriting their version. I don't really care anymore. The people who matter, they see it now. A few even apologized, genuinely and quietly, realizing how long this had been building. No more pretending. No more performances. I don't know what comes next. Maybe they'll try again. Maybe they'll fade out completely. But for now, the air feels cleaner. My kids are laughing more. My sister's trying. And I'm done wasting energy, hoping people will love us the way we deserve. So to everyone who reached out, offered support, or just listened, thank you. I don't know if there'll be more updates, but if there are, I'll share them. We really are. Until then, we said are okay.